Janet Takahashi. I'm a calligrapher and welcome to my studio. Today we're going to do basic uncial calligraphy using Pigma Calligrapher pens. Let's get started. Today we're doing a beginner's guide to uncial calligraphy with a Pigma Calligrapher pen. It's a round open wide letter form, as you can see here with the lettering. And when it's done with a lot of text, it creates a really open structure. In the early form, in early centuries, this is an example from the 6th century, it was written with a broad edge tool, which was the quill. And today, using a Pigma Calligrapher, it has the ink bottle and the nib and the pen holder all in one. What's great about it is it's archival and it's waterproof. The tools we're going to be using today are the Pigma Calligrapher pen, a pencil, an eraser, tape, paper, and a ruler. And I have another ruler here, and I'll show you how that works in just a minute. What I like about this Pigma Calligrapher pen is that it comes in 3 different nib width sizes, 1 millimeter, 2, and 3. And it also comes in 6 different colors. What we're going to be using today is a 3 millimeter for the uncial lettering. So one of the things I like about this pen is it has archival ink and it's waterproof. So that means when you do watercolor on top of your lettering, it won't move. It has a hard nylon nib inside, and so that means that you can write with a lot of pressure and it'll maintain really crisp edges as you write. A couple other materials that you need for good lettering is a pad of paper that acts as a cushion for your lettering, and handguard, which is just a sheet of paper folded in half, and it collects some of the oils from your hands from smudging your work. You also need a good quality writing paper. So for example, on this paper, the ink goes down very nicely and it doesn't bleed. You have a nice even line with the ink. And on this paper, it's also really good quality, but it's quite textured, so it creates a textured look, which is sometimes that's what you would like. Some characteristics of the uncial alphabet is that it's based on the O shape. It's a very wide, rounded, extended circle, and you can see that circular form in all of the round shapes. The body height of this letter is 4 nib widths high. You do that by taking the pen, and you can see that that is a nib, and by drawing a baseline, I can stair step the pen marks to 4, and then that creates the body height of this letter. There are also ascenders and descenders, and you have to remember that these are still capital letters. And also within the alphabet, you have a vertical writing slope and soft, delicate, small hooks for serifs. Let's talk about pen angle. There's a pen angle because it's a broad edge tool, which makes a thick and a thin line. And you can see from this protractor, it shows the different angles. So I remove that. You can see that at 20 degrees is the angle that we're going to write at. I place this on top. I can put the pen here at 20 to start every stroke. And for the C stroke and the O, it's the same, 20 degrees. For our uncial lettering today, we're going to use a line guide template to do the writing. This pen writes at 3 millimeters, and so that makes a 1/2 inch letter height. You can pre-draw your 1/2 inch lines, place a translucent writing paper on top, and do your practice lettering. You can also use a high quality grid paper that is 8 inches per square. The great thing about this paper is that each square in the grid is 3 millimeters. So you can do your lettering and your practice on this grid paper. That works really well. Here's another tip. You have your 1/2 inch lines already drawn. You have your paper that you cannot see through on the lines. You have a ruler, and your ruler extends out beyond the paper itself. I'm using a rolling ruler here. And I line up with a line, put my pencil down, and then draw each line. Here we go, ready to write. A good way to practice your uncial lettering is to practice them in family groups of the round letters, straight letters, arched letters with a straight and a curved side, small bold letters, and diagonals. The round letters are all based around the O shape, which is the key shape for all the other letters. And you can see that when you're practicing the O and the C, how it's easy to keep continuing that repetition to make it a G and an E and a D and continue this rounded form. And on straight letters, it helps you to practice your vertical strokes as you make them. And then the arch letters, you have a straight and a curved side. So with the N, and then you have a sender on which becomes the N and the H. The U is very similar to then becomes the Y, the D and the P. So there's a repetition to all of the strokes. You have the arches and a straight side. The small bold letters, they have these small bowls, lobes, and you have a vertical and a lobe. And even on the S, it's a small circular bowl. The diagonal letters all have a diagonal. So on the N, you have some straight vertical sides, but you also have the diagonal within it. So it's nice to practice it in this family group. It's always good to do warm-up strokes. Get your pen working and to make sure that you have good contact on the paper. And you can do that with some 8 basic strokes. So first is a vertical stroke. You can put a small serif on it, then a diagonal, some horizontals, a flattened arch, another arch, an under arch, an arc, a clockwise arc, and the middle part of the S stroke. There you have it. We're ready to letter.